Ring in if you dare.
Allan Beswick, the late night show.
And the telephone number, of course, is Preston 561000.
Stereo sound, going around. Stereo sound,
Howdy, Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
Could you tell me how Mercedes-Benz got his name from?
Are you going to tell me?
Sorry?
Are you going to tell me?
No, I'm ringing you. I'm asking you. If I knew, I wouldn't ask you.
Well, a lot of people do. I think the first person to make a motor car was called Mercedes-Benz. Honestly. You don't believe me, do you?
No.
Well, that's what I think. I'm sure someone will come on and tell us, Chris.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I'm sorry you don't believe me, but I honestly think that. If somebody does know the proper answer to that, assuming, of course, I'm wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time, do ring us on Preston 561,000 and reassure Chris that we're not all complete lunatics listening to this programme. How do, John?
Hello, I can't answer that one either.
Go on, then.
I was listening. I'm a CEGB worker, Central Electricity Generating Board.
Yeah.
I'd just like to make a point or two. The Grangemouth disasters, well, the 13th was one. 2 men were lost. And obviously on Sunday, tragic, there's some problems.
You're talking about the oil?
Yeah, on the oil, yeah, down at BP at Grangemouth.
Yes. Yeah.
The point I'm actually bringing up, quite simply, it is being brought to the attention that it's manpower that's been cut down. Oh, this is one of the contentions, that manpower is being brought down using more automatic control and instrumentation sides of the, the operational side, and the workforce is being cut down, obviously. I suppose it's profit motive, I don't know where you call
John,
it.
can we actually get to your point?
The basics is quite simply CGB, Trelsfinnith, Wilfer, Heysham.
Well, we know where the CEGB operations are.
Yeah, well, the atomic stations...
Let me stop you, John. John,
right,
let me stop you, and let's have your point. What is it?
Well, the point is, I think if the explosions and mechanical faults are going to take place in oil refineries, which are wide out in the open, pipelines wide open...
Never mind all that. What's the point?
The point is, if there's an accident in the oil field, obviously at that time there's a fire and there is local pollution.
Right, we've got that. Tell us your point.
If it happens in atomic stations, there's CO2 gas and there's quite a lot of nuclear radiation that's spread in
John,
a lot of areas, depending on which way the wind
John,
blows.
can I point out to you that we're already aware that if there were an accident in a nuclear installation, it would be, in some circumstances, tragic for society. It would destroy our country if it were big enough.
Yeah.
This doesn't add any new information. Allow me to take implication from what you've said. You seem to be saying that the potential for that increases as the automation of a site increases.
Yeah, that's a very fair comment. The instrument...
Well, I'm not interested in whether it's a fair comment. Is that the comment that you're making?
That's the comment I am making. Yeah, I'm in instrumentation, actually, yeah. And instrumentation does fail, and it fails quite a lot, yeah. In fact, it even failed on the shuttlecraft, if I want to be, that strong.
All machinery has its failure point.
Its failure points, yeah.
Having said that, the Central Electricity Generating Board's installations have an excellent record of non-major incident reports.
Yeah, that is fair comment. The one thing
so we go no further forward. You work for the CEGB.
Yeah, I would like to say...
In the light of what has happened at the oil installations recently, are you going to resign your position?
I am in a very, very serious situation at the moment to do so.
You are considering resigning?
I am considering resigning, yeah. At Trelsfinnith, we've got settling ponds. It's a Mannock station. We've got 3 Mannock stations, and what's happening, the rods are going into settling ponds, and unfortunately the water from the settling ponds, like Lake Trelsfinnith, which is in North Wales, by the way.
I know what it is.
The nuclear radiation in that lake and that area is definitely increasing. There's also
John, you still haven't told me the point you're making. I fully appreciate that if we use rainwater, lake water, river water, sea water in the operation, that water is going to become polluted. Of course it is. That doesn't help us any further. The implication of this conversation so far is that there is an increasing potential for mechanical failure when there will be a major escape of radiation into the atmosphere.
There's been quite a few, actually.
I said a major escape. There have in this country been none reported and many denied. There have been some very small ones, but I said a major one.
Well, I would like to mention one here. We had a lot of problems with Chernobyl.
One what?
Right, well, I'd like to just to mention one here. Chernobyl, there was a disaster in Chernobyl.
John, I said in this country. Right. Unless they've moved it, Chernobyl is still in Russia.
Fair comment. But why, after the Chernobyl disaster, within 2 to 3 weeks of the Chernobyl disaster, incidentally, by the way, at Sellafield, the alarm systems didn't go off when the so-called cloud went over, and the Lake District farmers had lamb put off the market for over 6 months.
John, let me ask you the question again. John,
that came from Chernobyl.
John, let me ask you the question again, because you don't appear to have answered it. Now, has there been, to your knowledge, a major incident at a nuclear installation?
There's been quite a lot in Charles Finney.
A simple yes or no will do for now. A major incident.
There's been CO2 leaks from Charles Finney to Manox, yes. No
I
problem.
surrender, John. I said a leak of radiation. Are you telling me that CO2...
CO2 gas is the coolant that goes through the reactor.
So that CO2...
The valves blow off.
John, I asked you to give me a yes or no answer.
Yes.
I will put the question to you again. You tell me you're an instrumentation worker. Well, instruments answer questions when you feed them in. Here is the question. Try to pretend you're an instrument.
Yes. You're
those that...
Yes.
No, I'll ask... I'm not interested in what it is. Are you telling me there has been a major radiation leak? Yes or no?
I would say at least about 11.
What is wrong with you? Are you deaf or bloody stupid? Yes or no?
At least 10 in the last 12 years.
David?
Yes.
Yes is the answer.
Yes.
Write to me, David, stating chapter and verse. It's John, not David. Chapter and verse.
Got it there,
on just one of them. I'm not interested. This is not written, you clown. Write, you know, with your hand and a pen and a little bit of paper. Maybe you're going to use an instrument like a typewriter. Write, you bloody fool. Because to date, I don't believe you. I don't think you have the wit to understand. Write. Thank you very much. I'll do line 5. Stephen.
Oh, hello, Alan. I'm ringing up about the Mercedes-Benz.
Go on.
It's actually the name of Carl Benz's daughter.
Her name was Mercedes?
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that. So Carl Benz, who invented the car, did he not?
Well, he had something to do with it.
Yeah, something like that. And his daughter was Mercedes.
So he named him after her.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Ta-ra. See? Chris was laughing at me. I wasn't that wrong. How do, Zachariah?
How do I? I'd like to talk about the growing problem in our society, please.
Go on.
There's just too many filthy niggers knocking around, and it's just not really...
Well, do you object... Sorry?
Too bad.
Yes. Can we stick to your point? Do you object only to the filthy ones, or do you not like the clean ones either?
Don't like you, Betty, you blob.
Yes, you said that, Zachariah.
You're a blob.
Even for you, Zachariah, intellectual pygmy that you are, we do not allow dedications. Certainly not to the arseholes that have the problem of being your so-called friend. Go away, you silly boy.
Spring is a time when a young man's thoughts turn to...
George? The bathroom!
Things like tiling. Spring into tiling with Foil Tilecraft. We have thousands of yards of wall tiles, floor tiles and mosaics. Budget tiles to designer styles. At Abingdon Street, Blackpool, North Road, Preston and Penny Street, Lancaster. When it's time to tile, come into Foil Tilecraft.
If you're looking for tiles in all kind of styles, Foil Tilecraft will leave the rest behind.
Mother's Day is almost here, so for the biggest choice of cards and gifts in town, come to Studio 4, the store where quality doesn't cost the earth. There are literally thousands of cards at Studio 4, along with a fabulous selection of gifts, pottery, cuddly toys, artificial flowers, and a huge range of basketry, cane, wicker furniture at near giveaway prices. Every mother deserves something special on Mother's Day, so don't leave it to the last minute. Come to Studio 4 today in St George's Centre, Preston, Princes Street, Stockport, the Arndale Centre, Bolton, and George Street, Altrincham.
Oh, hello. Didn't know you were there then. John Gilmore here. Not long now until Monday, 30th of March, and all systems go with Gilly on the Wireless between 12 noon and 3 p.m. Yes, that's the time of my new daily programme here on Red Rose. Oh, I'm really excited. We've got the magic of the 70s, all those tuna-roonies that you'd forgotten about from that decade. There's also a daily dinner-time smooch. Feet up at 2. That's when we put the kettle on, have a brew together, and read out 1 or 2 dedications. Plus 1 or 2 new phoning competitions as well. And don't forget to send to me your dedications for you, the one you love, or just the one you've got your eye on, written on unusual objects. Oh, I'm so excited. Monday, 30th of March, 12 till 3, the time for Gilly on the Wireless. Oh, I'll have to have a lie down. Nurse, the screen.
I can't listen to the end of that. It's dreadful. How do, Richard?
Hello, Alan. I have a problem. You see, I have bad breath, and also I'm quite ugly. I'm so embarrassed and would just die if anyone found out.
Have you considered gassing yourself?
Yes, I tried.
Do it, mate. It's all that's left for you. How do? If you wrote in about the girls' night out, you should by now have received an application form. We're going to see one of the best musicals ever written, Jesus Christ Superstar. It runs for 2 weeks at the Grand Theatre in Blackpool, and we're going to see it on the second night. That's Tuesday the 14th of April. Transport's available, courtesy of Ribble Motor Services, so return your application form now and join me at Jesus Christ Superstar on the girls' night out. 20 to 1.
Oh, I'd like to talk about dogs.
All right.
How do you think a cat's more intelligent than a dog?
Go on.
Well, on tests done by a certain doctor, the dog was found to be 1.7 times more intelligent than the cat.
What did the doctor do to test these?
Well, he tested 9 household pets.
I asked you, what did he do?
Well, there was various tests there, and one that comes to mind was he put the animals in a maze, and they had to find their way through the maze with various obstacles, and the cat couldn't do it. And at the end of the maze, there was food, which the dog did, the cat didn't do, and it ended up living off its own waste, trapped in this maze.
What do you mean, living off its own waste?
Well, it lived off its own urine and shit.
What did?
The cat, because it didn't have the intelligence.
I now know that you're a liar.
Why?
I know for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that is not the way a cat operates.
Well, that is so, Alan, because...
I don't care how so you say it is. I've just told you I don't believe you. Ask any vet and he will tell you that a cat, if it doesn't have food, still won't eat its own waste or drink its own waste. What it will do, it'll get thinner and thinner and thinner and die. In fact, if you feed a cat something it doesn't like, it'll get thinner and thinner and die. And if you don't believe me, then I'll tell you, I am at this moment having to give my cat anabolic bloody steroids because the damn thing won't eat its food. Good night. How do, Neil?
Hello, Alan?
Yeah.
I've just been watching a video of Mike Harding.
So?
And,
a video? Where did you get the video from?
It was a recording of one of his concerts.
Where from?
Oh, it was in a big theatre.
I'm not interested in where that was from. Did you get it off TV?
No, it was my dad's, you see.
He must have filmed it off TV.
Well, probably. I'm not too sure.
Because Mike Harding hasn't, as far as I'm aware, published a video. But he might have done. Go on.
Okay. He was talking about Australians.
Yeah.
And he seemed alright, but he seems to be obsessed by this Norks word.
What word?
Norks.
Spell it.
N-O-R-K-S.
Why?
Well, whenever he was talking about Australians, every other word was Nork.
Yeah.
You see. And on that point, I just, I know that you're familiar with Mike Harding, but do you know offhand whether there's any tickets left at Preston?
I think there are some. I'm not sure, but he's coming to 3 other places in this area anyway. But I think there are still some, but there'll not be many. I've got 4. I'm giving them away on Sunday on its short term.
Oh, very good.
We'll have to be sharpish. The concert's a week tonight. I'll do... Who? Andrew.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
Earlier this evening, there was a gentleman who was talking about abortion, and you said, when he was talking about the
I didn't say that.
Nothing from your word.
I didn't say that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll do, Mick.
Evening, Alan.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it.
Go.
Right, I was listening to your conversation earlier about the guy who was talking about the driving and the poor standard of driving nowadays. And I thought
He wasn't, really, but go on.
Well, he was talking about the level of the test.
You said the test wasn't hard enough, yes.
Yeah, well, I have to agree with the statements you were making. Anybody in his situation, of course, could go on further and take his advanced driving test.
You could, but I disapprove of the advanced driving test.
Why is that, Alan?
Well, first of all, I consider it to be a pretentious, jumped-up middle-class club, but that's immaterial.
Right.
There are a couple of things that the advanced driving test require you to do, which I actually think are dangerous.
What are they, Alan?
Well, one of them is the so-called need not to signal when there's no one to see that signal.
Yeah.
I disapprove of that.
Why?
It is dangerous.
Why do you think it's dangerous?
It is only prevented from being dangerous in the case of the infallible.
If you're driving properly and using your observation and techniques, and you're driving to the proper system, and you're actually driving properly, concentrating on your driving.
Let me just ask you a question, Mick.
Yeah.
Do you know of any perfect driver?
No.
No. Do you know of any infallible driver?
No.
So do you accept that the best driver in the whole world could make a mistake?
Yes.
Now, do you not think, given that as a definite answer to those questions, that a system that does not accommodate the possibility that the driver has made an error is a bad one?
Yeah, but in the system...
Well, just a minute. So we have a system where the driver is moving along in the orderly and legal manner in his motor vehicle. And he decides, or has decided some weeks ago because of his destination, he decides to turn right at the next T-junction. And he looks in his mirror, and he looks forward, and he signals. And then, when it's all clear in his view, he moves to the centre of the road in that time-honoured way of getting his right side of his vehicle just slightly left of the white line.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's, on this occasion, not seen anyone at all. So he's thought, I'll not bother signalling. Now, I don't know why he didn't see the car behind, but at exactly that second, the car behind decides, wrongly if you like, but decides to overtake. And he gets into the position to overtake. He pulls out and he gets level. His front of his car gets beyond the rear of the other vehicle. And the other vehicle has done it all, but for some reason hasn't seen. And it does happen.
It does.
He moves out to the right, because he's not signalling, because there's nobody there. Moves out to the right. We end up with dead people. Why? If he'd have signalled, even though he thought there was nobody there, the person that actually was there would have known what he was doing and would have thought, I don't think I'll overtake. That person in the car, both of them would still be alive. Well, they're dead. They're dead because the pretentious pillock driving the car thought, oh, I'm a perfect driver, I've got my little red badge on the front, I don't need to signal. Bull crap. He does need to signal.
Most people...
I'm not interested in most people. The advanced driving method says you don't need to signal. It is wrong, it is dangerous, it kills people.
Have you passed yours?
Yes.
Thought you had.
I was a driving instructor. It requires a little more than the jumped-up little middle-class paltry crap for the advanced driving method.
I understand your opinions, and to a certain degree can agree with you.
If you agree with me 1%, just 1%, that the advanced driving method can be dangerous, then you have condemned it. That is what I said. That is what I said. That is what you're agreeing with. Even if it is only 1%, that's what you're agreeing with. So either say you do not agree with me at all, or you have to agree with me that it can be dangerous.
I agree with the signal situation. It can happen. But...
Well, what do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you get off the hook. You are either going to say, because this is what you're being asked to agree with, and here's the question, and I will not accept anything other than a yes or no. Here is the question. Is it ever possible for a driver using the proper advanced driving methods to be in a dangerous situation as a result of those methods particularly in connection with the signalling element of driving? Yes or no?
Yes.
Therefore, it is not acceptable to me. You agree that advanced drivers are taught a process which can be dangerous. In a very few cases.
In a very few cases.
But can be dangerous. That, for me, is a reason for making it illegal, not recommending it.
Oh, no, but the standard is higher.
I don't give a damn how high the standard is. I do not want people taught a rote-learnt method that can be dangerous. Surely, we should be teaching them not to be dangerous, at least. Surely we should be devising a system which eradicates as much danger as possible. No, it doesn't! For crying out loud. Tell me one good reason, just one good reason, why a person should not signal just because they believe there's nobody there.
I think you're picking on a very...
Tell me a reason, because I don't want dead drivers as a result of some middle-class, pretentious, jumped-up club. You give me a reason why people should be taught a method which can be dangerous, when we could just as easily teach them one that is not dangerous, and that is to signal every time. Give me a reason.
Why?
Give me a reason. That's a question. I want a reason why we should teach people a dangerous process.
It's not a dangerous...
Give me... you've just told me it is. You have told me it can be. If it can be, it is. If it can be dangerous, it is. It is only ever dangerous when a mistake is made, but it can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous giving a person a licence on a standard MOT test and they can drive a Ferrari down the motorway.
I accept that entirely. That does not defend advanced drivers. That does not defend them one dot. The advanced driving system, you have just told me, has built into it an inevitable, although minimal, an inevitable danger.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I agree.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something again, because you have failed to do it so far, and you will not proceed in this conversation unless you at least attempt. Tell me just one good reason why a person should not signal when turning right. When
there is nobody...
One good reason.
When there is nobody else on the road.
Who makes that decision?
The driver.
What if he's wrong?
We all make mistakes.
Indeed we do. So should we not therefore teach a system that accommodates the potential for error?
But we always check.
Should we, or I don't care if you check 500 times.
We check.
I am going to ask you this question again. What is the better system? A system which teaches you to signal even though you are absolutely certain that you will not be creating any danger. Listen to the question. If you don't have the ability to listen, you'll get nowhere. Here we go again. Let me tell you, I don't work this program on the basis of winning and losing, but at the moment you are losing. I'm giving you now a golden opportunity to market advanced driving against my better judgment. Here it is. Here is the question you are required to answer to save all those pretentious middle-class prats. Here it is. Why can we permit, should we permit, people to not signal just because, in their view, there's nobody there, when in fact it is possible that there is?
If you've checked everything and there's nothing there is no need to signal.
There is a need to signal. The need is created not by the existence of the other vehicle, but by your potential for error. Tell me one good reason why you shouldn't signal. Not a mood, but a reason. Give me a reason why you shouldn't signal. Tell me how can...
If you're overtaking a vehicle at this time of night on a motorway...
What's this time of night on a motorway? I've given you the scenario. We have the scenario, an individual turning right in broad bloody daylight with the sun shining. Here is the question. Now listen to the question. We have a choice. Name one reason why signalling when there's nobody there would be dangerous. One reason. Any reason you like. One reason.
I can't think of a reason why we shouldn't signal when there isn't anybody there.
Neither can I. Can you name one reason why we should signal when there isn't anybody there?
I can't.
Can't you? What about the mistake element? That there's actually somebody there. We've not seen them. For some reason, we have not seen them.
Well, you know the system.
I'm not interested in the system.
No, you know the system.
I don't care about the system. The system has built into it the belief. One of the things they tell you all the time at advanced driving, I'm pleased to say, is that no one is a perfect driver.
Correct.
So, they also tell you, follows that you could make a mistake, doesn't it?
You can't. Everybody makes mistakes.
Of course they do.
Beings.
So, a system taught by the advanced driving is that if you have, in the extraordinarily unlikely event, made a mistake, and there's somebody there, you still don't need to signal.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. It tells you if there's nobody there, you don't need to signal. However, no, I'm sorry, it tells you if there's nobody there, you don't need to signal.
It doesn't actually state that.
But that is what they teach. You're now trying to say they don't teach that.
Of course.
They do teach that.
Yeah, mirror signal.
I'm sorry, Mick. Answer me a question, because you seem now to be backtracking. Do they or do they not teach that if there's nobody there and you've thoroughly checked, you need not signal?
Correct.
Now, I cannot see one good reason for that. When signalling would cause harm to nobody, but making a mistake could kill you both. I cannot see one good reason. If you can, then I hope we don't share a road sometime.
But would you not agree that...
I won't agree with anything until you come up with the answer to that question, because until we've got the answer to that...
Have you the answer?
Sorry?
Have you got the answer?
I have the answer, yes.
What's the answer?
The answer is that the advanced driving method is wrong. You should signal, even if there's nobody there, even if you've got a sworn affidavit in blood from your brain that there's nobody there, bloody well signal. You'll wear your bulbs out about 1 day in 1,000 years earlier, and that's a very expensive process, of course, but do it anyway. I signal on empty... I signal on the bloody beach if I'm turning the car.
But apart from that, would you agree that the system...
No! I will not agree, because if I agree, that is encouraging people to go there, and I might be the one that they don't see, and it might be me that's dead. Advanced driving is a very nice club. Go along, have your glass of coffee, have your glass of bitter, have your glass of lemonade, but don't believe the word of the crap they tell you. Teaching advanced driving can be dangerous. I reject it. What about ROSPA?
Well, it's another group.
It's the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents.
Well, they also have a driving standard.
I don't care.
I mean, I don't know their standard.
Well, perhaps you better find it out. It might be a good one. How do, Andy?
How do, Alan?
What do you want?
I'd like to ask you a question. Well, do you think the government should decriminalise cannabis in this country?
Do you?
I think they should, yeah.
Why?
Well, the thing is, cannabis is not as dangerous as alcohol. Alcohol kills more people than cannabis does.
Well, just a moment. That's an unfair comparison, first of all. To say that alcohol kills more people than cannabis does, well, that is probably true. In fact, it is true. But alcohol kills more people than machine guns do. Are we to make machine guns legal?
Of course not.
No, of course
anyway,
not.
to a certain extent.
Well, they're not legal for you and me to go wandering down the street firing them off, are they?
Fair enough, yeah.
Right, so the fact that it, at the moment, whilst illegal, doesn't kill more people, doesn't mean we've got to legalise it. The same applies to cannabis. Cannabis doesn't kill as many people as alcohol, but then again, not as many people use it because it is illegal. You give me a reason why it should be legal. That was the question. Let's hear you do it. You don't appear to have one. How do, Sandra?
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I was in the chippy last night, chip shop, about 9:30.
I know what a chippy is. Go on.
And there was these two little children in there. One was about 5, one was about 7. And they were getting, obviously, they were getting a Chinese meal. Obviously wasn't for them, it was being for the parents or whoever. I'd just like to say, you know, what do the parents, what are they thinking about letting children out at that time of night?
I'm going to say to you, Sandra, I am to clue, but we see it so often, don't we?
Oh,
do you know what actually gets on my tit ends as well? Parents that send their children to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
I honestly can't think of one reason other than the bloody bone idleness of the fat swine parent that does it.
Yeah.
I cannot think of one reason for sending a child. And going out to the chippy at 9 o'clock in the evening, they must be mad. And these are the parents that when the kid's snatched, raped and murdered, they'll be crying tears and all this garbage and wondering how it happened. How it happened is their lazy, bone-idle, fat asses. That's how it happened.
Discussing anyway, I hope they're listening and
So do I. But the trouble is, Sandra, if just straightforward common sense hasn't got through to them, you and me aren't going to, are we?
No.
Because they must be thick. They must be thick as pig muck.
Yeah.
All right, love.
Don't deserve children.
Well, you're probably right, actually. Okay.
Okay, thanks very
Cheers.
much.
Bye-bye. Howdy, Roy. Yeah.
Alan,
Yeah.
think of a year which you remember most in your life and write it down.
I don't remember any of them most.
Well, one which sticks out. It could be anything, a tune, anything which you remember most about that year.
Go on, all right. I thought of a year. I've played this game before, actually.
How many years ago was that? Right, that down.
How many... Hang on a minute. I can't remember what year it was. What year are we in, for crying out loud? Oh, right, go on.
Right, how many years ago it was,
Yeah.
that day. Write down your age at your next birthday.
Oh, God. This is frightening. Go on.
And write down your date of birth.
What, all of it? What, as in months and all that?
Well, no, you know the year, like 19, whatever it is.
Oh, the year?
Yeah.
The year of birth, not the date of birth.
Well,
You
yeah.
see dates, January the 10th and things like that. Go on.
And have you got to add them all together?
Right.
Have you got an answer of 3974?
No. It ends in a 5. I've not done the rest of it, but it ends in a 5.
That's because you've already had a birthday this year, is that right?
No.
Oh, well, got it wrong.
That's knackered you, isn't it, eh? Let me check my maths, because they're not the best thing I've got. 25, 2, 6, 9, 7... No, I've actually got 3975.
Oh. Well, got it wrong then.
That's knackered you, isn't it? Sorry about that. It's a good game, though. How do Martin?
Hello, my brother-in-law has been employed for quite some time, and he's not in this area, he's in Leicester actually. Now the thing was, about 9 months ago he applied for this TOPS course.
Is that still going? Good Lord.
Well, this is, in Leicester. Now, I think, he might be wrong whether it was 1 A-level or 2 levels, he hadn't got it. He applied for one of these national computer courses that's not sponsored by the government, which you have to make a payment of about £900.
I know the one you mean, yes.
Now, he borrowed the money. Now, the thing is that I went down virtually around this area sort of thing, trying to help him, because he's been asked to go to a seminar. Now, the actual computer thing is sponsoring the hotel and what have you, but his expenses, I asked at the job centre and what have you, that, whether anything could be done about it.
And the answer's no.
No, and they said that with the story and the progress that he's got and the progress that he's done so far, they said that somebody should be able to help. So we tried the education, we tried the DHSS, and we tried the unemployment. And we all came against a brick wall, but they said that somebody should be able to help.
I'm sure somebody should, but it's whether they actually have the legal ability rather than should. Should's a funny word, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way we should all be able to live comfortably, but we can't.
Yeah, the thing is that basically, really speaking, he's not really taken any advantage of any, of the government scheme. He lives with his parents, and so obviously he's claiming just the £30.80. But they did say that if it was a government TOPS course, then they would sponsor any...
Well, that's right, but the decision starts a lot earlier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If he's entitled to go on a TOPS course, then they will foot the bills that are consequent of that, yes? However, if he's not entitled, then he doesn't get into that stream, as it were. So, no matter when he becomes in need of funds, he's not entitled. I mean, the guy's got 900 notes together. And the government are well able to say, you can get 900 notes together, you can get 1,000.
Well, yes, basically. Well,
I appreciate he's borrowed it, but that's what they're saying. You don't qualify for our course. That sounds fun, doesn't it? We're back to 8. You don't qualify for our course, therefore you don't qualify for our benefits. Makes sense.
Well, I follow that way about it, but the fact is that basically he has to borrow money again, and really speaking, he's available for work, and a job did come up a bit ago that was part-time, and of course this would have covered his expenses, and he asked me, and I said no, we'll go and see at the job centre, obviously, and of course when we did see at the job centre, they said, well, it's a very, very difficult situation, and really speaking, you had done the right thing by coming to see us first, but we can't really help you. So...
Well, yeah, but it's the old story. I mean, nothing's moved forward. We can't have it right for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's...
No, it's not okay, but you'll have to live with it. I can't change it. All right.
No,
I agree with you that it's ludicrous.
There's no suggestion then at all.
There is no
We talked
suggestion,
about
no.
Citizens Advice Bureau, but basically you're saying that, there is nothing that really anybody...
As far as I'm aware, there isn't. I suggest he goes to the Citizens Advice Bureau or a Welfare Rights Centre in Leicester, in his area, because there may be some local benefit that we're not aware of, because local authorities have different rules and regulations for certain benefits. So it's worth approaching them locally.
So there is no... could there be like a special case or something? Or is there
There's no such thing as a special case. I don't know of any place where, or any government scheme, where a government department is entitled and empowered to make a decision outside of their overall brief. So they're given various parameters. And if those parameters, or if he doesn't fit within those parameters, if you like, there are goalposts. And if he isn't able to get through the goalposts, then there's nobody empowered to move those goalposts other than the government.
Yeah, it's just that they did say that if he was going for a job, then they would pay obviously his expenses.
For the job, yes.
But if it was a government top scheme, then they would pay the expenses.
Yeah, but
because he's done it himself.
But he's falling between the...
money.
That's right, he's done it himself, paying the money. But the reason he did it himself, because he didn't qualify for the benefit in the first place.
He didn't have the A-level.
That's what I said. Didn't qualify for the benefit.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Now, if he doesn't qualify at the beginning, by purchasing a scheme himself and saying, well, to blazes with you, pal, I'm doing it anyway, he doesn't earn entitlement to the benefit. He still isn't qualified for the benefit.
Well,
not even halfway through.
Could I just say, let's just say, if he did pass this if he did pass this computer course, which lasts for another, 9 months?
Go on anyway, yes.
9 month course. When he's applying for a job, would you think that any job that he's applying for would need A-levels, even though he's got a diploma in this computer course?
Very unlikely.
So, in other words, he's to stay on with it and borrow more money and go.
I'm not going to give him that advice, but what I'm going to say is the people that work on computers are not necessarily able to pass A-levels. I'll give you an example. A young man from the northwest, indeed from the Merseyside region, made literally thousands of pounds designing computer games. He was 14 years of age. He wasn't even entitled to sit an A-level. Yeah. And he wasn't a genius in terms of an exceptionally bright young man who could go out and pass A-levels and all that. He just didn't have the time to sit them. He was just an ordinary kid who had a penchant, as it were, a knack of computers. Yeah. And, I mean, I've got a fairly good education. I've got qualifications. But I'm buggered when it comes to computers. I don't think you could teach me computers no matter how damn clever you were.
No.
Honestly, they leave me cold. They leave me dumbfounded. I have a word processor, which is... I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about the computing side of it. I don't know how the program works. I can operate it, because it's like, you know, a typewriter. I diggly, and I have a screen. I'll make a mistake, I can correct it. I can do all of those things. I can give it instructions. And if it broke down, I wouldn't be able to repair the program.
But basically, it's for him to, you know, get a job at the end of it.
Yeah, I know what the idea is. What I'm saying to you is that because of that circumstance, because the people, an ability to operate and program a computer doesn't require A-levels and the like very often, because you can actually learn to do it without them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay, thank
Cheers.
you.
Sorry, mate. Ta-da. Give him my regards. I think he's written to me this week. It can't be two people in Leicester that listen to this programme occasionally.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, I think he's written to me this week. I got a letter from somebody in Leicester this week.
I don't think so, no.
No? There must be two
he's
people.
Quite shy.
There must be two people in Leicester who have the ability to hear this programme one way or another. Never mind. Thanks for your call.
Thank you.
Cheers. We're gonna...
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding.
The latest special edition Fords are in stock now at John Wilding. The Fiesta Festival, Escort Bravo, Capri Brooklyn's 2.8 injection, and of course the exciting new Sierra Sapphire. Call in and see these special editions at John Wilding's on the A6 at Garstang. And if you're interested in an Orion, ask for written details of low-cost finance available now. If it's Ford, it's at John Wilding.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding. John Wilding!
Hello, Alan?
Yeah.
I'm unemployed and receiving supplementary benefits. I'm 3 months pregnant, and I know you're entitled to some extra benefits. I'm not sure what, and I wondered if you could tell me.
You might be entitled to maternity allowance. You might be entitled to maternity grant. You will find out from the relevant leaflets, which you'll get from your CAB, your DHSS, or post office.
All right. Shall I go in there straight away then now?
I'd wait till they open.
Okay.
Ta-ra.
Thanks, bye.
Gordon, you're next. Now, Gordon.
Oh, Alan, what do you think of the Style Council?
What do I think of?
Style Council.
I didn't vote them in. I don't have an opinion. How do, Derek?
Hello. Good evening. I have a question to ask you. It's about the DHSS.
Well?
Well, I went for a medical 3 weeks since. Now, I've been unemployed for 7 years. And I went to the job centre, and they told me there was no job available for me. So they told me to go on the club because I have a ruptured stomach and troubled by nerves. Now, they said to me, go and see a doctor and sign on. Now, 3 weeks since, I was taken onto invalidity. Now, I had to go and pass the medical. Now, today, I've had a letter come, and it says I am fit for work. Can you tell me how I go on?
The medical that you had was presumably at the DHSS's behest.
At Bolton.
At Bolton.
Yes.
The only answer I can give you is that it's a very peculiar interpretation. The question, are you fit for work, works on the basis of a straightforward yes-no answer. And if there is a job that you could do, even though the job is not available, and even though you are not qualified to do it, if there is a job that you could do, then you are fit for some work. That is the interpretation. It's ludicrous, it's stupid, it's cretinous, but it's the government's, or at least the department's. What I suggest you do is check out with your local Welfare Rights Office or Citizens Advice Bureau as to what the process of appeal is, and see if you can appeal the decision successfully. Okay?
Well, on this letter, it says, and I can't understand it, you are not incapable of work.
Which is what I've just explained to you.
Yes.
You've just outlined a number of illnesses.
Yes.
I'm not asking you whether you're capable in terms of the ability to work the equipment or whatever, but could you sit in this studio and answer the phone?
No.
No, you couldn't. Why not?
Because I'd be too nervous.
Nervous?
Yes.
Well, I'm nervous. But it is physically possible, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yes.
That's what counts.
Yes.
And so it's physically possible for you to do it. It's physically possible for you to do it. Full stop. Therefore, you are fit for some work.
Yes.
That's how they work it.
Oh.
It sounds stupid, I know, but that's how it is. Right?
Right, thank you very much.
But do please check out your right of appeal and your likelihood of success at such an appeal with your CAB or with your Welfare Rights Office.
Right.
All right?
Right,
I
thank
wish
you
you
very
luck.
much. Bye-bye.
Ta-ra. I wish you luck because I think it is one of the most stupid rules that the DHSS have ever implemented. And they have implemented some bloody stupid ones over the years. How do Sid?
How do Alan? Alan?
Yes?
You see, well, the problem is, like, I'm going to Greece. Yeah?
You're going to Greece what?
I'm going to Greece in summer. And,
In what? In what?
In the summer.
I see.
And I was wondering about baggage. What you do with it, like? Do they look after it all the way? Or what?
I've no idea whether they look after all way, but you probably form part of the baggage, given that you're an intellectual pygmy from Liverpool who sucks noses for a living. Get off, cretin, you're not bright enough to fool me. How do Dot?
I want to talk about the set.
Go away. How do Steve?
How do, Alan?
Well, I've nothing else to say, have you?
Yeah, I was on an egg with friends today, Alan.
Did you win?
Well, I'm working on it, right?
Did you win, yes or no?
Yeah.
You did. Make the most of it. You won't win any more today. Go on.
Right, am I right in saying that you've never actually said I ate all Scousers?
You are correct in saying that.
Right, thanks.
You will win one after all. How do Anita?
Yeah, I'd like to know how come he's doing that thing.
Go away. We don't have you lot on here tonight. We've banned you. Are you deaf or stupid or both, madam? How do Johnny?
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
There was 3 nuns at the gates of heaven, and this god said to the first nun, because they had to answer a question to get into heaven. So he says to the first nun, he says, who was the first man on earth? So she says, that's easy. It's Adam. He says, that's right, you can go to heaven. So he says to the second nun, who was the first woman on earth? She goes, that's easy as well. It's really easy, that. She says, it were Eve. He says, yeah, that's right. You can go to heaven. So he says to the third nun, what was the first thing that Eve said to Adam? And the nun goes, that's the hard one.